Alright, let's talk about something that affects pretty much every premium Android phone out there: the Snapdragon chip. If you've been following Android flagships, then you know Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 series has been the go-to processor for the best phones, like the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's basically the engine behind the beast. But here's the catch: Qualcomm's been bumping up the prices on its flagship chips every year lately. And yeah, that's likely part of why our favorite phones are getting pricier too. Now, some interesting news just dropped from reliable leaker digital chat station over on Weibo. According to a very machine-translated post, Qualcomm might actually hold off on raising the price for the next big chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2. That's huge, especially since this Gen 2 chip is rumored to pack a serious punch in both CPU and GPU performance. Imagine a big performance leap, but without the usual price hike. We'll take it. So what does this mean for the next wave of Android phones? Well, with rising tariffs and chip costs, brands like Xiaomi, Honor, and Oppo have already been scouting for homegrown silicon alternatives. They're trying to reduce their reliance on Qualcomm, but we don't know how close they are to making the switch. And then there's Samsung. Rumors have been swirling about Samsung potentially switching to its own Exynos 2600 chip for the upcoming Galaxy S26 lineup, maybe skipping the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 altogether. Let's be honest, the Galaxy S25 lineup is already a bit pricier than many of its Snapdragon-powered rivals, the S25 Ultra, which is in its own league. If Samsung keeps pushing the prices up, they might just push users toward more budget-friendly options. Every year we hear talk about Samsung leaning more into Exynos chips for their flagships, and next year's Galaxy S26 is no exception. But so far, it's mostly just talk. Most Samsung phones still roll with Qualcomm under the hood, except for the recent Exynos 2500-powered Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now, if Qualcomm really does freeze prices on the Elite Gen 2 chip, that could free up Samsung's budget for other upgrades, like better displays, bigger batteries, or maybe even improved camera tech in the S26 series. Sounds like a win. Qualcomm usually drops details about its next-gen chips in the fall, so we should know exactly what Gen 2 is capable of and how much it'll cost in just a few months. Anyway, what do you guys think? Would you prefer Samsung go all in on Snapdragon again, or are you curious to see what Exynos 2600 can do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.